Afternoon, lads. It's well, good morning. It's me, Pete Rigs and Tips. Today, I thought I'd show you how to make this rig. This is it in its entirety. It's the Portsmouth Loop Rig. It's a clipped up rig. It's for distance or short distance. You can put big hooks on it, small hooks, depending what you want. Today I'm going to make it with size 10 Aberdeen hooks. That's it in its entirety. So I will now show you how to make it. It's not hard to make. As you can see, they're clipped up. When it hits the water like that, they all come off. So you've got one line on the bottom. That one at the bottom will lie on the bottom, and that one will hang just above the one on the bottom. So you have one on the bottom and one fishing just off the bottom. So I will show you how to make that now. But first, as usual, the components you'll need are 2 Aberdeen 10 hooks, depending on what size hooks you want to use or hooks you want to use. 4 beads, 4 crimps, 1 bigger swivel, 2 small swivels. They're 4 and 6 swivels, them size 4 and a size 6. There's a cascade swivel and a bait clip that I use. I find these bait clips okay. I've used them on all my rigs, most of my rigs now, and they're fine. I was using the impact shields, but I've changed to those. I still use my impact shields on certain rigs, but and if you want, you can use an inline bait clip. It's up to you, but I use that one, or you can use leads. They've got the clips on them already. The line I'm going to use is the Powerflex 60-pound rig body, which I find great, and the Amnesia 25-pound test for hook links. You can use different, depends what line you want to use, but that's the line I use and I find it okay. So as normal, we get the leader line, the shock leader, right? So get that. I show you the length I use. It's normal, same as in all my videos. To your nose, outstretch your arm, that's the length of the leader. Turn your nose, that's it. A little bit more for the knots. Yeah, I don't measure every line. And then cut that. So, right, first thing I do is tie the swivel on. You see that? So I'm going to tie that on. Just the normal 6-turn knot I use. 6-5, whatever you want to use. Your favourite knots. Through the loop. And spit. The reason you use spit on your lines or wet your knots is because when you tighten them down there's no friction and it won't abrase the line. That's the reason why, because if you don't use it then it's harder to tighten down as well. So just cut that. So that's it. So that's the first thing on, the swivel, all tied on nice and neat, and that's to the main line, goes to your reel. So now I'm going to thread all the components on. So it's a crimp, get hold of it, yeah, crimp, tie the crimp on, bead, small swivel, bead, crimp, there's your crimp. So another crimp, thread that on. I know this takes time and it's not very good, boring watching me doing this, but thread it on, I was out on the pier again last week. Landed no pier. I had loads of whiting, was with my lads. They had whiting, double hookups. No bigger fish, just whiting. We had a few pouting, some very small whiting on the sabiki rigs, and some pouting. Tried a live bait for bass, but nothing. So I've put that on. So it's another little swivel now. Another little swivel going on. Then a bead. And a crimp. And then I'm going to tie this on. And you're wondering where the cascade swivel comes in. Well, I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to tie this on. That'll be the bottom one, bottom link for your weight and a bait clip. So there you go. 6 again. Through. At your loop. Pull it down tight. Give it a nudge up. There you go. All on, nice and neat. I hope you find these videos interesting or helpful. I mean, I just make these easier. I try to make them easier than what they are on other sites, and I try to show you exactly what I'm doing. So right, you've got the swivel that goes to the main line, and then on the rig body you've got a crimp, a bead, a swivel, bead, crimp, crimp, bead, swivel, bead, crimp. Okay, so that's it. So now you slide those ones down to the bottom and leave them there. This one I move down just a little bit, and then what I do is I crimp it, but not tight. Yeah, just so it can move. See, so I can move it up and down, and that is so when I put the hook length on, I'm going to get it right on this, and I do the same on the bottom as well. I move it up, I just crimp it just a tiny bit so it can move. It's not enough. Yeah, see, so that moves up and down the line. It's not scoring the line either, it's just loose, so it can move up and down. It's a bit tighter than the other one, but it does move, see, up and down the line. In fact, you can do this with your rigs, so if you lose a hook link, you don't have to faff about. See, it does move. Right, now the next thing is I get the first snood. Now this is going to be the cascade snood, this, and what I do is I get the rig body and fold it in half. Yeah, so that's half. See, half. So then I get my snood line for the bottom snood. Yeah, I put it on. And I measure it so it's equal length, half. So we'll cut that now, but we'll cut it a little bit longer, because I'll show you why. A little bit longer. So that's your hook snood, nothing on it. So what I'm going to do, tie the hook on. Yeah. So tie the hook on, and then I know it seems a bit weird. Remember, in the thumbnail, pull it tight so you don't, see, if you put the hook point over your thumbnail, it won't dig into it when you tighten it up. That's all tightened. Remember, leave a tag end, so when I thread the lugworm on or the bait, that tag end will keep it from sliding back down the hook. That's just a little tip from me. That's your hook snood there, right? So I'm going to tie that. I'm going to tie that onto the bottom swivel. I'll get the swivel because it's still loose, a bit awkward, right? So tie that onto the bottom swivel. Right. Some people might do this a different way, that's what I do. And now you've got your hook link there, but now you fold that in half, so you've got the same length, yeah? And then I just move it up a little bit to there, because you want a fair bit of loop, right? So say a quarter of the way up from where you've tied it onto the swivel. So there. So then I'm going to cut that there. So you know you've got two bits. So what I do now is I tie my cascade swivel on, yeah, onto the loop. Make sure you tie it onto the bit that's gone onto the swivel, the loop, the cascade swivel loop, because when it hooks up, it's going to be like that. So you tie the eye of the swivel, remember the eye of the swivel, onto the bit that's already attached to the other swivel. So you tie that on. Cool. There's your knot. So remember you've tied that on, your cascade swivel. Trim that off. Now you tie the other bit onto that bit there. The other eye. You can do this different ways, but this is the way I do it. That's all nice and neat. Cut that off the tag end. So now I've got it tied onto the swivel. That's the snood. And see, just over halfway I've tied the cascade swivel in. Can you see that? There's the cascade swivel. So the loop end is to there. See, so what happens is when you put it upside down, when you put it like that, it's going to be looped. So that hook, I'll show you, let's hook that up. That's going to be on your bait clip. Like so. Yeah, that's going to be your loop. And what holds that onto your bait clip is that cascade swivel there. So it'll be like that, see? That will hold your hook on to the clip, because the other bit, the other snood will come down, the hook will clip under the cascade swivel to hold it like that, so that's where you get your loop from. Right, so you'll see why I haven't tightened that up now. Now I'm going to get the amnesia. I'm going to just measure it from there to a cascade swivel, which will be hooked up. So you measure that, so you put that in, measure that, so that's where you want your other hook snood to come to, is about there. See? Is about there. Right, so you keep hold of that so you know where. Get your snood line. Hold it where you want it to come to, your hook. There. Up to your swivel. There. So you're going to cut that length. You can cut it a bit shorter if you want, because remember, I haven't crimped that crimp. I've just put it light so it can move up and down. So I'm going to cut that. There. Cut it a little bit shorter. Right. So there it is. There's your snood line. So I'll tie that on now. Pull it through the knot as normal. Wet it. Pull. Then tighten down. There you go, on tight. Snip that. Right, I'm going to tie my hook on now. So there's the hook. So tie the hook on. Just the normal rig. Remember, size 10 hooks I'm using. Just be for smaller fish this, but you can put attractors on as well if you want. It's up to you on the snoods. I know they use them for flatties as well. There you go, thumb in there, nail, pull it tight. See, not damaged your nail, your skin, it's on your nail. There's the tag end, just a little bit shorter. Remember, there you go. Right, so now the tricky bit is to hook this up. So you hook the bottom hook up like so. You get the other hook hang on a minute. I've just made tying this, and that wasn't very good. I'm just retying the knots because the knot on one end of the snood wasn't very good, so you have to excuse me for a minute. Done. So now you've got to hook that into there like so. Right, so now it's all done, but I haven't measured it up yet, so just remember when you do tie your cascade swivel in, just remember that the smaller eye, yeah, is tied towards your hook, and the bigger eye is tied towards the swivel on the line, on the rig body. So it's like that. So smaller eye, swivel side to the hook, larger eye to the swivel on the main line. Now what you do is, remember I said I hadn't tightened end down? Well now, see, I can tighten that one because that's all done, but this one's not tight. So I'm going to crimp that up. And I always leave a little gap, little millimetre gap, so that swivels round. See, so it'll swivel. If it's too tight, it won't. So tighten that up. Tighten that one up. Right, so what we've done there. Right, this is the tricky bit. What I do is I hook that up onto there. But what I do is I put it through there so it'll stay on while you're doing this bit. Or you can just hold it on with your fingers and you go up like that. So there, right. So you go down, so you're holding that onto the clip. So you get your other snood now with a hook, and you see the cascade swivel. You hook it onto your bait clip and pull it tight, and then you hold it tight and you go up the line till it's still tight, and you see that bit there. Well, I've still got it tight, but see how loose it is. So you just pull it or push it down. See, pull it like I have, so the crimp slides down. See, and that's about where you want it. Just a little bit less, just so it's straight. You want that like that, so it's straight. A little bit more. You want a bit of tension on it to keep it on the. You can use SRT springs if you want, but I don't. So right, so that's the position we want that one now. Did you see why I left that loose now, so it could slide down to where you want it? Yeah, so that's it all done. So we crimp that now. Crimped. I pull the other one down. And remember, if you have it too tight, just a little gap of 1mm or so. And remember, I always crimp my crimps in the middle, not on the ends, because I think if you crimp them on the end, they'll cut into the line. But if you crimp in the middle, they won't. So that's it, see? That's your loop rig. That's shorter, that's longer. But now, see, we'll get the weight. We'll put the weight on. So I should put plain lead on. Yeah, so there's the lead on. Put that on. Hold that on. Get the other snood. Clip it into the cascade swivel. So that's it. Pull it tight. So there you go. The Portsmouth Loop Rig. It is quite finicky, but I like this rig. See, and there's the cascade swivel. There's the loop. So when it hits, all comes off. Easy as pie. There you go. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like. Just remember, I did pause the video because I'm not a professional, and I did tie that swivel on the wrong way round, so that's why I paused it. But yeah, so just make sure. I've only made these once before, so I'm not a professional. So the eye of the swivel goes towards the hook, and the big bit of the cascade swivel goes towards the swivel on the rig body, so that when it goes up is facing the right way. Yeah, that's all it is, guys. If you see what I mean, it's facing the right way, like that. See? Right, well, anyway, that's another rig from me. I know it was a bit long, the video, but I hope it's helpful. It is quite a long-winded rig to make, to be honest, but I do use them now and again, and I hope it helped. I'm sorry the video's so long, but it takes a long time to make that rig. Like, I can make pulley rigs. I did buy some cascade swivels and I've tried them, and I've also ordered some SRT springs to try them out, because some people say you don't need them, some say you do. I don't see many rigs with them on, but I'm going to try them anyway. When I do, I'm going to make a 2-hook rig with cascade swivels and the SRT rings. I will make a couple up first, and then I'll do a video and show you how to make them with the SRT springs, of course. Right, but I'll try and simplify it for you, as some of the other videos are quite complicated, but I hope this one was okay. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hope you liked the video. Cheers, guys. Thanks. Give it a thumbs up if you do. Thank you for watching.